Answer writing, there is single biggest change that I had done in this attempt compared to my previous attempts. So 3-4 steps that I used to do for every question is, first thing, when you read the question, you have to break it into subparts. Every question, it has a prologue, then it has a question, and then examine at the end. So your task is to break the question into subparts, and each subpart you answer specifically under a separate side heading, so that just by looking at the answer, examiner knows what you are answering. And it also helps you not ramble around, beat around the bush, rather than and stick to the point. And second is, give current affairs example wherever possible. Flowchart diagrams, wherever apt, definitely they improve the presentation. And introduction, as I was saying all throughout, it should be simple but substantial. That if you are defining something, it should be in a simplistic of words that you break it down into its basic components, or into black money or inflation or such concepts, so that examiner knows you understand the concept. And lastly, try to be novel in your answers, because everybody reads the same topics. Where you can have that edge is when you quote good examples that examiner will not find in other papers. To give one example, last year they asked a question on WASH scheme, sanitation, health and water. Now that question, after writing, I immediately recollected a very good example where in Warangal district, Secretary of Water Resource Ministry came over to clean the toilet pit, because that was an innovative twin pit toilet solution that is very cost effective, affordable and scalable to throughout India. That was praised by Modi in Prime Minister Modi in his Man Ki Baat, and Secretary was there. So I quoted that example, that to improve the sanitation, this twin pit toilet solution can be scaled up towards to attain Swachh Bharat. This is something that examiner will not find in any answer booklets, right? I'm not saying you should give these examples, but you should look out for such examples in everyday newspapers and try to think in which answer I can write these. And when you write that, the examiner will definitely give you that 1 or 2 extra marks, which is all that matters between somebody who makes it to the list and somebody who doesn't.
How to develop analysis? Analysis only comes by writing, putting your thoughts in the paper, on the paper. Because you think something, it evaporates. You think something today, you don't remember it tomorrow. But if you put it on paper, you make notes. That's what I meant by making notes. That's what I meant by writing answers. The more often you write, the more you'll be able to analyze, because your thought process and your body of knowledge is coming in a logical way. It's getting constructed in a logical way. You yourself are creating beautiful answers by writing what you know. Because as I've told you, your answer does not match with anyone else in this world. Leave UPSC aspect. So like that, if you start writing answer writing, practicing answer writing, your analysis definitely improves.
So essentially it will be different for all of us. I can only share you my experience. So even I am a very late night person, so I used to wake up very late in the morning, 9 or 10. And then typically on an average I used to study for 8 hours. On some days, like if it is 10 days before the prelims, I used to study a lot, like it could go on till 12 or 14 hours. But as Anudeep has also said, planning was very essential. So I would look at the syllabus and I would plan that on this particular day, this is the topic that I would cover. And if I break it down in these 8 hours, around 1.5 to 2 hours would be with regard to the newspapers and making notes in them. And then towards my optional also, I used to devote a lot of time. And because optional is very important, you can score a lot more in optional and essay combined rather than all the GS4 papers. And then also with regard to static part, it depends whether how close the exams are. If it's very close to the prelims, you have to devote some time to modern history and polity essentially, and you have to memorize those things, and they can happen very late into the syllabus. So, and current affairs, I would revise the notes like what I had done 1 week past. I would make a note of them and compile them subject wise, like there would be a folder for economics, there would be a folder for polity. So I would always revise 1 week back's folders so that I keep them refreshed. So essentially that's the thing, and it would be very personalized. So I suggest that you customize it to yourself and you make a plan and how you study. So it's a very personal choice and you're the best judge for it.
That I believed in myself, and I want you to believe in yourself, in a sense that if you follow a consistent preparation with discipline, I'm sure it's quite easy. Today, when I look back, I can tell you one more aspect. This is very, I haven't shared because it's something you cannot tell prior to the rank. I can tell you now that I was very confident of getting a rank. When I finished writing mains, of course, prelims you see the score. I'm well good enough, and I was confident that I would clear. Then after I prepared for mains and I wrote mains. Because these mock tests, I have also written mocks and all. I was scoring well, and then I wrote the mains exam. And after writing the mains exam, I was very confident that I would clear. It's just that I may not have shared it with anybody else except to my mother, but I was quite confident that clear, and so it happened, and I was able to clear. So, and then for interview, I gave mocks. I prepared current affairs. I worked on my DAF. I took it very seriously. I wanted to do it well. So it paid off, and even my interview fortunately went very well. So once my interview went well and mains went well, I was pretty confident of a rank. I'm sharing this now because that is how it's a step-by-step process. So please do not think that surprises do not come in. At least for me, it was not a surprise. So it is a step-by-step process wherein you climb a ladder. Where, in a sense,
we'll start with the training as an IPS officer. As you all know, we get trained in the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel National Police Academy in Hyderabad. It's a rigorous 18 months training. It is divided into 2 phases. The first phase is basically where you get built as an officer. So as soon as you go, you'll have a 0 week wherein they'll group you into different squads, and you'll get a brief overview of what you learn in indoors and outdoors. The outdoors are as hectic as you've heard. We have to do a 16-kilometer run, 40-kilometer route march. That is, you have to walk with around 10-15 kgs on your back, and that is non-stop. You have to cover it within a certain time, which is usually 8 hours. 16 kilometers you need to run within like 1.5 hours. So the training is quite rigorous, and outdoors are actually something that will test you, because all of us have been preparing for UPSC for the past at least 2 years and not are in good shape. So in that way, it makes you into a completely different person. You are fit for life, I can guarantee you that.
So what I'll do is I have a presentation with regard to preparation for civil services. I'll be speaking as per the presentation. In between, if you have any questions, you can write them in the chat box, and we can also take the questions after the presentation. So I'll just share the presentation. Okay. So as was told in the introduction, I belong to the Indian Police Service from 2017 batch, and right now I'm holding the position of ASP under training. And before the Indian Police Service, I was in the Indian Audit and Account Service, 2014 batch, where I worked for 3 years. So let us start with the presentation. Okay, so this is the broad agenda of today's session. The first thing that I'm going to discuss is getting into the right frame of mind. That is, how do you mentally prepare yourself for this examination, which is the most important part. Thereafter, step by step, I'll discuss about the 3 stages of the examination: prelims, main examination, and personality test or the interview. So the first thing, getting in the right frame of mind. Now, as you might have heard, and many people say that UPSC is considered to be one of the toughest examination, one of the most competitive examinations in the world, not just in the country. And what distinguishes this examination from other examinations, say an IIT entrance exam or IIMs, etc., is that this exam is more a test of your attitude, your consistency, your mental strength and patience, and not pure knowledge or intelligence. I have seen much more intelligent people than me, much more knowledgeable people than me not getting in the services, not getting through the exam because of their attitude. And I've also seen much less intelligent people or much less knowledgeable people than me getting in the services, again because of their attitude. So attitude matters a lot.
See, ethics exam is like this. They are not asking what is ethics. They are asking how ethical you are. This is the basic thing. So how do you say I'm more ethical? You'll quote from your personal life. obviously you can't have everything in your personal life. So you can collect examples in your preparation. You can use Quora, you can use internet. So you can get even your friend's example also. You can say it's my example until unless you get caught there. So I think in this 1 year preparation, you'll collect examples. Because at that exam 3 hours you can't get fresh examples. So whatever your most effort, most of your time will be on collecting the examples. Like you'll collect example, try to fit it with the topic. Like if you are doing integrity, try to do it in simple terms. Like and in the exam you will put it there. This is one thing, and it's true that the more examples you write, you'll get the more marks you'll get. There's no question, second thought about that.
So first, I just want you to understand what basic books that you have to refer at the very initial stage. First, let me take geography. See, these four are the main important topics: geography, history, polity, and economy. Along with that, environment has turned out to be a very important part in civil services. So first, let me go with geography. Geography, you could be going with the basic books of NCERT, 2 books, Indian Physical Geography and World Physical Geography. NCERT, Indian Physical Geography and World Physical Geography. And you could also be going with Human Geography of India and World Human Geography. This comes in the second reading. First, don't go with this because these are not so much important. These 2 books are very important: Indian Physical Geography and World Physical Geography. Next, history. NCERT, Ancient and Medieval India. But for modern India, you could be going with Spectrum book, written by Rajiv Ahir, an IPS officer. And polity, you are well aware, Lakshmikant. And economy, see, what many of you do is, they feel that economy is very difficult and they'll take some big books and they'll start mugging up all the things. But unfortunately, what is happening in economy is the question is more of a dynamic model rather than of static model. So your economy preparation should be more tilted towards current affairs. So what could be more important in the economy part is current affairs. So better you go with India yearbook, all the latest schemes. See, when I was writing my mains in 2016, there was a question that is in economy called Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. That was the latest scheme that was introduced during that year. And also gold monetization scheme. So the nature of asking questions in economy is more of dynamicity rather than static. So India yearbook could be very important, which updates the latest schemes. And also you could be going with economic survey. This is also very important. And the economic survey, your institute has got the reputation of making up a very concise part of economic survey, not the book that is released by the Indian government. A compiled version of economic survey. They'll sort out all the unnecessary information and they'll be giving you only the compiled version that could be very easy to read. Okay? And also for the static part, you could be, I personally go with Ramesh Singh and also NCERT. So this static part, Ramesh Singh and NCERT macroeconomics, you have to go only for selective reading, not the entire book. Like the banking terminology. Take the example repo rate, reverse repo rate, open market operations, the definitions. What is CRR, cash reserve ratio, SLR, statutory liquidity ratio. So all these definitions are very important, particularly from the prelims part. So these definitions are very beautifully explained in this Ramesh Singh and also NCERT macroeconomy book. What is fiscal deficit? What is revenue deficit? Budget, planning. So all these are beautifully explained in this. So Ramesh Singh, you go only for selective reading, not every topic. Selective reading of banking, budget, planning, all this. NCERT macroeconomics, you could be reading the entire book. Okay, and environment, this is also a very important thing. first mistake that I have done in my first attempt is I did not focus environment more. And that could be a curse for the civil service aspirants. Because many questions are being asked in environment every year. The beauty of environment is the people who are preparing for prelims for civils and the people who are preparing for Indian Forest Service will together be writing the prelims examination. They will have a common paper. Civil Service examination and Indian Forest Service examination will have a common prelims paper. So obviously he is forced to ask questions regarding environment because it could be more relevant to Indian Forest Service people.
My name is Mukir Lakshmi Pavana Gayatri and I have secured 427 rank in this civil service examination, and I am here to present my civil services journey and give some strategy tips and advice to the coming aspirants. First is a timetable. Second, deadline plus tasks. I had tasks and deadlines. Next is consistency. This is very important, and discipline. So to have these three elements, I think it is important to clear civil services examination. So what is timetable? Timetable is when you know when is the prelim, like we should have prelims, mains, timetable. So there will be a time between these two. So how will you do time management, giving time for the prelims and giving time for the mains, and what will be the strategy in order to complete that one? So for prelims there are like particular the strategy would be to have particular set of books, standard books, revising them n number of times. To revise them, standard books like Lakshmikant, everyone knows each book have one standard book. Revise them and be updated with the current affairs. Take any monthly magazine. AKS Institute has also one monthly magazine. Take that one, revise them many times, then prepare many times. Revise, then practice. So this is key to clear prelims exam. Next, right now mains. So mains, in this attempt I have concentrated more on mains because this is the key to be in final list, and I have concentrated more in mains. My strategy is answer writing. For this I have taken help of test series and content. Optional plays very important role in the civil service examination, especially in mains. So first thing to choose good optional is very important. So what is the criteria in choosing a optional? First thing, you should have interest in that particular subject. Second thing, resources in the market and test series. Third thing, strategy. So these things three place in hierarchical order, plays important role in how to choose optional.
మరి నెక్స్ట్ రౌండ్ మనకి మెయిన్స్. వన్స్ ప్రిలిమినరీ గట్టెక్కిన తర్వాత మెయిన్స్ అనేది ప్రధానమైనటువంటి అంశం. ఒక మనిషి శరీరంలాగా మనం ఇది ఆలోచిస్తే సివిల్స్ ప్రిపరేషన్, దానికి గుండెకాయ లాంటిది మనకి ఈ మెయిన్స్ అనేది. ఆ మెయిన్స్ వచ్చే మార్కులు బట్టి రేపొద్దున మన ర్యాంక్ కానివ్వండి, మన సర్వీస్ కానివ్వండి, సర్వీస్ ఆల్ ఇండియా సర్వీస్ వస్తే మన క్యాడర్ కానివ్వండి ఇది అవుతాయి, మనకి నిర్ణయించబడతాయి. కాబట్టి ఆ మెయిన్స్ మీద మనం చాలా దృష్టి పెట్టాలి. అది ఎక్కువ మార్కులతో కూడుకున్నటువంటి పరీక్ష, ర్యాంక్ కూడా దాని మీద ఆధారపడి ఉంటుంది. సో దీనికి సంబంధించి రాత నైపుణ్యాలు అనేవి చాలా బాగా ఉండాలి. అంటే మన మైండ్లో చాలా అంశాలు ఉన్నప్పటికీ మనం ఏ విధంగా ప్రజెంట్ చేయగలుగుతున్నాం విత్ ఇన్ స్టిపులేటెడ్ టైం, అండ్ అడిగిన దానికి అనేది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. అండ్ ఇక్కడ క్వశ్చన్ ఏం అడుగుతున్నారు అనేది కూడా మనం చాలా స్పష్టంగా చదివి అడిగిన దానికే సమాధానం రాస్తే చాలా మంచిగా మనం అందులో సక్సెస్ సాధించడానికి అవకాశం ఉంటుంది. అట్లాగే ప్రతిరోజు చదవడంతో పాటు అట్లీస్ట్ ఒక 1 అవర్ కూర్చొని రాయడం మనం నేర్చుకోవాల్సి ఉంటుంది. ఆ రైటింగ్ స్కిల్ అనేవి డెవలప్ కావాలి. అన్లెస్ అంటే మనం రైటింగ్ స్కిల్స్ మనం నేర్చుకోకుండా వితిన్ సడన్గా ఎగ్జామ్ హాల్లోకి వెళ్తే అది అంత బాగా ప్రజెంట్ చేయలేము. సో కాబట్టి మెయిన్స్కి సంబంధించి అది దృష్టిలో పెట్టాలి. అండ్ ఇందులో ఆప్షనల్ ఉంటుంది. ఆప్షనల్ ఎంపిక అనేది బేసికలీ ఒక 4-5 అంశాల మీద ఆధారపడి ఉంటుంది. ఒకటి మన ఇంట్రెస్ట్, అది ప్రధానం. రెండోది ఇటీవల సక్సెస్ రేషియో ఆప్షనల్తో. మూడోది మార్కెట్లో కోచింగ్ అవైలబిలిటీ కానీ మెటీరియల్ అవైలబిలిటీ కానీ ఉన్న అంశం. నాలుగోది మనకి అంతకుముందు ఆ సబ్జెక్ట్తో ఉన్నటువంటి పరిచయం. సో డిగ్రీలో కానీ పీజీలో కానీ ఆ సబ్జెక్ట్తో ఏమైనా పరిచయం ఉంది. దీన్ని బట్టి మనం ఆప్షనల్ ఎంపిక అనేది చేయాలి. నా దృష్టిలో అన్ని ఆప్షన్లు బాగానే ఉన్నాయి. సో కాకపోతే ఇటీవల కొన్ని ఆప్షన్లకు మాత్రం మంచి ఇవి వస్తున్నాయి. సో ఆ విధంగా మీ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ బట్టి మీరు ఆప్షనల్ చూస్ చేసుకోవాలి. వన్స్ ఆప్షనల్ చూస్ చేసుకున్న తర్వాత ఎనీ కాస్ట్ అది సంవత్సరం మార్చకపోవడం అనేది నా యొక్క సూచన. అట్లాగే ఒక ఐడియల్ సివిల్ సర్వెంట్ ఏం చేస్తారంటే సివిల్స్కి వచ్చే అభ్యర్థి ముందు మెయిన్స్ చదివి, నెక్స్ట్ ప్రిలిమినరీకి చదివి, ఆ తర్వాత ప్రిలిమినరీ అటెంప్ట్ ఇచ్చి, ప్రిలిమినరీ క్వాలిఫై అయితే వెంటనే మెయిన్స్ ప్రిపరేషన్ స్టార్ట్ చేసి మెయిన్స్ అటెంప్ట్ ఇవ్వడం అనేది ఒక ఐడియల్ వే ఆఫ్ ప్రిపరేషన్. అట్లాగే ఇదమితంగా దీనికి ఈ విధంగా చదవాలని ఏం లేదు, బట్ ఇది ఒక ఐడియల్ దీనిలాగా చదువుతారు. సో ఈ విధంగా మనం మెయిన్స్ అనేది ఇది చేయాలి. అండ్ ఎస్ఏ రైటింగ్ కూడా ఇందులో ప్రధానమైనటువంటి అంశం. ఎస్ఏ కూడా ఒక స్కిల్ కాబట్టి మనం బేసికల్లీ ఎడిటోరియల్ పేజీని బాగా చదివితే ఎస్ఏ స్కిల్ని మనం అలవాటు చేసుకోవచ్చు.
I started 2004, but I am not able to clear prelims. But 2015 onwards, I am continuously clearing the prelims exam. And because the main reason is because I used to continuously make mock tests. See, mock tests are very important to clear prelims. Even for mains also, they are very important. And in this mock test, actually AKSIS Center is also conducting prelims mock tests. That will be very useful to you. And if you see, since last 3 to 4 years, the main focus of prelims exam is there are paper 1, paper 2, as you know. So paper 1 main current affairs portion is contributing maximum of marks. I think that can be useful from AKS current affairs programs are there. So they are very useful in that also. And even CSAT also. Now since 3-4 years it is also getting day by day tough. So every year it is becoming very tough. So my advice to aspirants is the mock tests are very important, and you do as many mock tests possible.
I am a very syllabus oriented person. So I made notes on my laptop. I had 1 page for every syllabus point, kind of syllabus point, or say if it is about economics, 1 page for every aspect of economics, like say infrastructure, energy. Like there is very very detailed syllabus in GS3, infrastructure, PPP models. So I had 1 page for every syllabus point, and from current affairs, if I find something good, I used to add there every time. But one thing I would suggest is do not go for adding trivia in your notes, like that some bird has been changed from endangered to vulnerable. So just write about issues. Think from a mains point of view when you are writing notes. Write about issues and write them in the same manner that you would write an answer. Like in every infrastructure, say energy sector, there must be side headings that these are the issues, these are the government steps, these are the measures that need to be taken, or some stats. So have the structure for every page. Energy sector, these are the issues, like all that. And keep adding the points just there in those side headings itself. So that is a very efficient way, I think.
I did not refer many books, but from the notes when I was doing it after coming from home, So what I did was I used to read everything, and if I had some doubt, I just directly Google on the internet, and there was some series of I just Google YouTube to put in the term of justice and its theory to get that theory. So the main the time I spent was to understanding the concepts first, because all these concepts were very new. In political science, if you spend considerable amount of time understanding the concepts, you can actually know pretty well. So spend maximum amount of time understanding the concepts. Coming to the books, there are some good books. I've bought them but I've not read them. So my whole source was around Marx Notion. And I made some short notes out of it, and I've done, rigorously I've internalized all those what you were saying. I came home, I went through all the notes, then I made some A4 paper, I used to write everything. Then if I had some doubt, I just Googled it. And then after test series, I wrote some mini tests. So from that I had some learning. So first attempt I thought I'll read, second attempt I had some books. Third I'll read, second, third attempt I'll read those books. I told you only class notes, and I used to Google terms in case I had some doubt of some theory or other. If you had some doubt on Karl Marx theory, I used to put it in YouTube and try to watch 3-4 videos. So I get an idea of their own, one guy saying this thing, one guy saying another thing. So you'll find some good points, and I'll try to make up my own answer. So I didn't go for any specific source or any text. For TV, media is already big picture. So from editorial, I used to read those IR editorials from C. Rajamohan and Suhasini, XNS and all these people. So for political science people who part 2, I did not prepare any notes. I did not follow maps, or did not follow. Because the lack of time and all these things were happening, I thought I knew the basic, IR is a certain way of writing an answer. It's not about also about knowledge. Because everyone will know India and China is happening all this. But you need to put in a reference point of what is C. Rajamohan saying, what is Karl saying. All these people, their mindset I got to know while watching Rajya Sabha debates. So I used to watch their debates and all these things. So I tried to make my answer on my own.
And prelims, I struggled. I was telling my friends, prelims, I'm going to clear. I read everything, I did current affairs, I did all the books. I'm going to clear comfortably. My friend told me the day before, she was like, don't be this overconfident. You're going to get really screwed up in the exam very badly. Don't be this overconfident. I'm like, what can they give? I mean, I did everything. I went into the exam, 1.5 hour, panic mode. What is happening in this exam? I'm not able to answer anything. Every question I come to these 2 questions and I get stuck up. And then in the last 10 minutes or so, I filled 10 questions. All the questions I could reduce 2 options correctly. 2 options were left over. I guessed. Obviously, that is what you do in a UPSC exam. You don't have a choice. I guessed. I came out. Generally, you have this tendency when you come out of an exam, you only check for those questions which you guess. So that's the first thing you do. Came out, checked these 10 questions, 9 were wrong. I'm like, this time, prelims, I think it's going. But CSAT was there. CSAT was like the calm version for me. 2 hours, I didn't have to think about anything. Just had to, concentrate and do the exam and come back. I came back, checked the key. Okay, I did well in the static part. I cleared cutoff by a decent margin only, and I was through. Now the bigger challenge, how to get those 200 marks in these papers. So I divided. I realized that optional was very important. Like Harsha told you, optional is very important, and especially when you have an optional like geography, because there is huge competition for geography. Many people are attempting with the same paper, so you have to set yourself apart. I think I probably put aside 4 days a week for geography, 3 days a week for GS and essay together. Really worked hard on my optional. For GS and optional as well, I wrote both the test series this time. Divided my time, worked hard, started writing, started drawing. One mistake that I was making was in all my GS answers, I always focused on quality, bringing the quality right, and I was very bad at management. In a question that I don't know, it'll be very clear that I don't know the question. Still, that remains a big problem. But that is something you should work on. Management, like Harsha talks about, because these days, if you look at the UPSC question paper, out of the 20 questions you get, 12 to 13 questions are the ones that you know the answers to. I mean, you're able to write 200 words or 250 words, that will only be around 12 to 13 questions. The rest of the 7 questions, you have to conjure answers and compete. That is when you start scoring. Probably that is where I lagged and Harsha made marks for himself, but that is something that I was not able to do, but I would definitely advise you to pick up that skill. That is very useful. Apart from that, what I was talking was my biggest flaw that I was doing was to concentrate on writing 4 or 5 very good quality points. I mean, something that probably nobody will be able to write, something that is genuinely out of the blue, or it involves analysis, it involves deep understanding of the issue. I was doing this, but that is not for this exam. We are here for marks at some level. Knowledge, yes, everything, yes, but we are here for the marks, and when you have to fetch marks, you have to toe the line of the exam. That is something that I understood, and I went through a lot of toppers papers. Lot, I mean a lot. I went through 200 papers, 30 times each. I wanted an answer to that question, ki what are they doing right and what am I doing wrong? That was bugging me. That was big question, because I knew content-wise I was not behind, because I read all the books. I was doing decently in prelims. That means content-wise I'm not at fault. So something is happening in my presentation. What was it? That you can only figure out for yourself. You have to use your writing style, your knowledge in terms of comparison to what toppers are doing, and figure out what is the best way for you, and then you will score marks. I figured out a way for myself in optional. GS I still couldn't. I still have a little to cover in GS, but essay and optional I could genuinely score very decently, and that is what I want to talk about today. Essay, how to score in an essay.
The standard of prelims is only getting more and more difficult, particularly in light of the paper that we got this year. Although all of us have cleared, we were of a unanimous opinion that it was much more difficult than last year's paper. That being the first point. So competition is only going to increase, and it's going to become more brutal in the future. Now, keeping those two things in mind, I think the only weapon that you have in your hand is practice, is doing a lot of mock papers, okay?
I would say that it's a risky shot. Like, I'm being practical here. You can follow whatever they have said, but it depends on you, like whether you're married or not, what responsibilities do you have, or how support your family is, how supportive they are, or your financial background. It depends on all of those. And if you quit the job and God forbid if you don't make it to the list, just imagine those things and take the decision. You are the best judge.
నా పేరు మిథున్. నేను ఆల్ ఇండియా ర్యాంక్ 568 సెక్యూర్ చేశాను 2019 సివిల్ సర్వీస్ అటెంప్ట్లో. నేను బేసికల్గా తెలంగాణ స్టేట్ నుంచి వరంగల్ డిస్ట్రిక్ట్. నా గ్రాడ్యుయేషన్ వచ్చేసి బీ ఫార్మసీ, బ్యాచిలర్ ఇన్ ఫార్మసీ, తర్వాత ఎం ఫార్మసీ చేశాను. అండ్ 1 year జాబ్ చేసిన తర్వాత దెన్ సర్వీస్ ఓరియంటెడ్ ఉండాలి జాబ్ అనేది అని చెప్పేసి ఐ హ్యావ్ రిజైన్ టు మై జాబ్ అండ్ ఐ హ్యావ్ స్టార్టెడ్ మై ప్రిపరేషన్ సివిల్ సర్వీసెస్కి స్టార్ట్ చేశాను. ఇది నా 6th attempt అండ్ 4th ఇంటర్వ్యూ. 4 times ఇంటర్వ్యూ ఇచ్చాను, 4 times మెయిన్స్ ఇచ్చాను, 6 attempts ఇచ్చాను. అండ్ 2014లో ప్రిపరేషన్ స్టార్ట్ చేశాను. 2020లో ఐ హ్యావ్ సెక్యూర్డ్ 568 ర్యాంక్. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ అబౌట్, ఇది నా గురించి నా జర్నీ ఎలా ఉంది అని చెప్పడానికి వచ్చాను. సో ముందు నా జర్నీ చెప్పేదానికి ముందు ఎగ్జామ్ గురించి తెలుసుకుందాం. ఫస్ట్ ఎగ్జామ్లో సో ప్రిలిమ్స్ ఉంటుంది, మెయిన్స్ ఉంటుంది, ఇంటర్వ్యూ ఉంటుంది. సో ప్రిలిమ్స్ వచ్చేసి 2 papers ఉంటాయి. GS పేపర్, జనరల్ స్టడీస్ పేపర్ అండ్ CSAT పేపర్. 200 మార్క్స్కే ఉంటాయి. కానీ CSAT అనేది క్వాలిఫైయింగ్. ఒక 67 మార్క్స్ వస్తే మీ GS పేపర్ ఎవాల్యుయేట్ అవుతుంది. దెన్ మెయిన్స్లో మీకు ఒక ఎస్ఏ పేపర్ ఉంటుంది, 4 GS పేపర్స్ ఉంటాయి, ఒక ఆప్షనల్కి 2 papers ఉంటాయి, ప్లస్ 2 qualifying పేపర్స్ ఉంటాయి. మన మదర్ టంగ్ ఒకటి, ఇంగ్లీష్ పేపర్ ఒకటి ఉంటుంది. ఇవి క్వాలిఫైయింగ్ పేపర్సే. ఫస్ట్ ఈ పేపర్స్ ఎవాల్యుయేట్ చేస్తారు. ఇందులో కనుక మీరు క్వాలిఫై అయితే దెన్ దాని తర్వాత ఈ పేపర్స్ అనేది ఎవాల్యుయేట్ చేస్తారు, ఎస్ఏ పేపర్ ఇవన్నీ. ఇది ఒక్కొక్క పేపర్ 250 మార్క్స్కి ఉంటుంది. సో టోటల్ మెయిన్స్ వచ్చేసి 1750 మార్క్స్కి ఉంటుంది. 1750 మార్క్స్ మెయిన్స్ ఉంటుంది. అండ్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ లాస్ట్ స్టేజ్, ఒకటి తర్వాత ఒకటి. ప్రిలిమ్స్ క్వాలిఫై అయితే మెయిన్స్ రాస్తారు, మెయిన్స్ క్వాలిఫై అయితే ఇంటర్వ్యూ ఇస్తారు. ఇంటర్వ్యూ వచ్చేసి 275 మార్క్స్కి ఉంటుంది. ఇది బేసిక్స్ ఫర్ దిస్ బేసిక్స్ సివిల్ సర్వీస్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్ బేసిక్స్కి ఇది. కానీ చాలామంది చేసే తప్పు ఏంటి అంటే వాళ్ళు చాలా ప్రిలిమ్స్ మీద కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేస్తారు, మెయిన్స్ మీద ఇంటర్వ్యూ మీద తక్కువ కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేస్తారు. ఎందుకంటే ప్రిలిమ్స్ కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేయొద్దు అని నేను చెప్పాను, కానీ ప్రిలిమ్స్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్ కాదు, ప్రిలిమ్స్ మార్క్స్ యాడ్ అవ్వవు, మనకి మెయిన్స్ మార్క్స్ మాత్రమే యాడ్ అవుతాయి. సో ప్రిలిమ్స్ మీద ఫోకస్ పెట్టండి, బట్ మెయిన్స్ని నెగ్లెక్ట్ చేయకండి. కానీ ప్రిలిమ్స్లో యూ హ్యావ్ టు వర్క్ హార్డ్ వర్క్ అనేది ఈక్వల్గా ఇవ్వాలి. ఎందుకంటే 5 lakhs మెంబర్స్ రాస్తే అందులో సెలెక్ట్ అయ్యేది మీరు ఓన్లీ 12,000 to 13,000 పీపులే మెయిన్స్ రాస్తారు. సో ఇక్కడ కనుక మన కాంపిటీషన్ చూసుకుంటే ఆల్మోస్ట్ 1:100 కూడా చెప్పొచ్చు, 1:70, 1:80 ఉంటుంది ఇక్కడ. అండ్ ఇందులో నుంచి వెళ్ళి అరౌండ్ 2,000 పీపుల్, మన 2,000 పీపుల్ విల్ బీ సెలెక్టెడ్ ఫర్ ఇంటర్వ్యూకి సెలెక్ట్ అవుతారు. సో కాంపిటీషన్ వైజ్ చూసుకుంటే ప్రిలిమ్స్లోనే ఎక్కువ కాంపిటీషన్ ఉంటుంది, కానీ మెయిన్స్ మార్క్స్ ఆర్ చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ మార్క్స్. ఎందుకంటే మెయిన్స్ ఇంటర్వ్యూలో ఎంత కష్టపడ్డా కానీ అరౌండ్ 200 to 210 వస్తాయి. ఇది హయ్యెస్ట్ మార్క్, ఇది బెస్ట్ మార్క్. సో 200 to 210 మార్క్స్ కాకుండా ఇందులోనే మ్యాక్సిమం, మెయిన్స్లోనే మ్యాక్సిమం స్కోర్ చేయడానికి ట్రై చేయాలి. సో నా ఈ స్ట్రాటజీ అంతా మెయిన్స్ ఎలా స్కోర్ చేయాలి, మెయిన్స్లో ఎలా మార్కులు రావాలి అని చెప్పడానికే ఈ స్ట్రాటజీ.